Great.
Hello.
Yes. Somebody had a question. Ashish, you had a question. Okay, guys. So yesterday, if you remember, we had a very, very quick discussion on what a database is, what tables are, and where is that gone? Okay. Database. So you all remember, right? We had a discussion on what database is and what tables are, and what is the use of database management system, and what is SQL, right? So we had that preliminary discussion yesterday. And who can tell me then what is SQL? Who owns SQL? Who can tell me that?
Oracle.
Oracle.
Okay.
SQL is a common language that is used most of the DBMS database management systems are using nowadays, which are the most famous names you told us yesterday.
Yes, you
So
have
it is
told
a
it is
common
a
language
separate.
which is 90% we can use in all the database management systems.
Okay. So then nobody owns it, right, Abhishek?
Owns.
Of course, okay.
Oracle does,
It will
but it's
answer.
free.
Yes. So the answer to that question is that nobody really owns SQL as a language. It was designed by IBM, couple of scientists back in the 70s, early 1970s, and they made it open source. And the reason why they made it open source because they were frustrated with all the user requests that they used to get for accessing even basic amount of data by these business users. So they created SQL as a very English-friendly language, so that any English person, I mean, any English-speaking writing person can use SQL and can make, can extract data from the databases. So SQL is essentially a language which databases speak, right? Guys, as we discussed yesterday, that's what SQL is. Just going to open my file. I don't know where that file got. Yeah. So that's what SQL is, right? It's used for, give me 1 second. All right. It is used for doing all the operations that we are supposed to do with a database management system, whether it is to create the database, create the tables in the database, create the columns in the table, insert the data into it. For everything we use SQL as the whole and soul language. Okay, so any interaction that you want to do with a database management system, it is done using SQL as a language. It is used for inserting, extracting, manipulating data from the from a database. It is the common tool language to work with the data stored in the multiple databases. Who use SQL? All the people, all the human beings who have to interact with the database, they will use SQL. All the reporting tools, for example, even Excel, even Tableau, Power BI, Python, all these reporting tools who need access to the data would use SQL. Sanjeev, can I ask you to be on mute, please, if you don't mind? Thank you. Karan, any question, Karan? You all can hear me loud and clear, right? Everybody?
Yeah, we can.
Yes,
Yes, we can.
yes, Pratik.
All right, good. So why is it famous, accepted universally? It's not owned by any company, it's open source. It's very easy to learn, especially for English users. There is this organization called as American National Standard Institution, or SQL, which kind of controls SQL as a language. Just like in English, we say Webster, Merriam, organization in the UK, they kind of control what is allowed in SQL, what is allowed in English, what is not allowed, and so forth. So similarly, this particular organization, American National Standard Institution, kind of decides the protocol for SQL, and most of all the database management system, the software companies which have database management system, they kind of comply with SQL as a language by them. SQL is divided into 3 statement types: data definition language statement, data manipulation language statement, and data control language statement, DCL. So we will talk about all these in detail. Data definition language statement is used for creating the design. Okay. Data manipulation language statement is used for working with the data which you want to put into the tables. So creating the design meaning creating the database, creating the tables, creating columns, all of it, creating all the things about the design. And when you want to insert the data, then DML comes into the picture. When you want to update the data, then DML comes into the picture. When you want to delete the data, then DML comes into the picture. When you want to query the data, right, then also DML comes into the picture. Okay. And data control language statements are used by database administrators, DBAs, the database, the IT guys who work behind the scene to kind of set up the database, to install, to assign users, to create users, to assign privileges to the users. So in our course module, we will not discuss DCL because we're not going to become the database administrators. We are the business users. We want to be able to analyze the data, complex data, slice and dice the data. And those are the things that are done using using these two statements, DDL and DML. Specifically, we will focus a lot of our time and energy into learning this select statement, which helps us to query the data. So 90% of our time will go into learning about select statement, which is also at times people call it as a data query language statement. Okay, so these are the fundamental commands that we will actually learn in our classes. Just to give you a pictorial representation, SQL divided to DDL statements, DML statement, and DCL statement. DDL, to create a database or to create a table, we have create statement, which will help you create the database, and will also help you create the tables in the database. Within the tables, it will also help you create the columns and apply constraints on the columns. We will talk more about the constraints. Constraints meaning what kind of data a column can contain, whether the column is a unique column, whether the column is a unique and mandatory column, whether the column is just a mandatory column, cannot be left blank. So all those constraints, as we call them, would be done using something called as constraints, which is again can be done using create statement. Alter is to, let's say you've created a database, you created a table in the database. Then if you want to modify the structure, let's say add a new column. So alter can help you add a column. Alter can help you drop a column. Alter can help you rename a column. Alter can help you modify the data type of a column, of a table, right? Let's say there is a, sorry about that. Let's say there is a table here. Let's call this table as customer table. And in the customer table, you have all these columns. Let's say this column is salary column. And you want to delete this column, drop this column. Then the operation that we'll have to do is alter with drop, right? But if you want to drop this entire table, then we will use something called as drop. Did you understand the subtle difference between using alter with drop and just drop?
Yes.
Yes,
Pratik.
Yes, Pratik.
Yeah. And you don't have to, the best thing is that you do not have to memorize these things. There'll always be references available. I am also going to give you references. Google is filled with references available. So there's no point trying to clutter your brain. And that is the reason why I'm going through them fast. But you just know that, all right, there is something, there's an option to create something. There's an option to create a table. There is an option to create a database. There is an option to modify, alter the design of the table. And then we will, as the course progresses, many of these things you will start remembering. And I'm okay if you do not remember exact command, because the commands are all available. There's no point trying to remember things which are easily available on Google, okay? But yeah, conceptually you should understand. So the difference between alter drop is if you want to modify something within a table, then you will use alter with drop. But if you want to drop the entire table, then you'll use drop. Got it? Now,
Pratik, drop as in drop where? In other database or?
no. Oh, okay. So
Just delete it.
Drop is
Drop
like
is another
remove.
term for delete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to use delete
So
because delete
is
is
it
something
used for delete or close?
This is like removing the table.
Okay.
I always take an example, Faisal, that let's say there is a building. In that building, imagine that building to be a database. This is a database. I mean, it's a building, okay? It's not really a table. It's a building or a database. And this building has multiple apartments in it. And this apartment has many rooms in it, right? So if you want to, let's say, if you want to drop or remove this apartment from this building, do you understand, Faisal?
Okay.
So then you will
basically it's
drop it.
mean deletion.
Yeah, it means you're removing something.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it, Pratik.
Now,
Does
DBS, yeah.
My question is, does this remove our from the source itself?
Yes.
Okay.
From the database. From the database.
Okay.
We can remove the database as well from this drop thing.
We can remove the database as well. Chetan. You know, I mean, I know it's a very common thing that people get confused between. You see, imagine we live in a housing society. Let's say this is a housing society. This is a, you know, I mean, complete society. It could have some residential area. Imagine these are all residential area. Residential 1, residential 2, and this is residential 3, and then this is commercial area, commercial 1. Let's say there is a hospital as well, and there is a school as well, and this is open area, parks and recreation. Right now, this housing society may have an entrance, may have a gate. This is the gate, this is the door, right? And it may have multiple towers. Okay, now what happens is, if you look at this housing society and if you try and compare with the database world, then we would say this housing society is our server, database server. Okay, the what do you call them, the buildings, right? The buildings are essentially your I mean, sorry, the residential area. Let's say this residential area, this R2, R1, R2, R3, these are residential areas are actually databases, right? So this, let's say this server has multiple databases in it. This is also a database, this is also a database, this is also a database, this is also a database. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
And what are these buildings, what are these towers representing?
Tables.
Tables.
Tables. Perfect. Got it? So now, if you want to, you know, create a new, so I mean, creating a new server is always a painful task. You know, I mean, it's not a easy thing. You know, you have to install it. You have to, you know, have a machine ready. You have to, or maybe you're doing it on cloud. You know, I mean, you have a dedicated space ready for the server. Okay, it requires, you know, space, hard drive space, requires computation resources. It requires a lot of things. Creating databases within the database server is an easier task, right? I mean, once your server is up and running, then we will see that creating databases is actually just one line command. Creating tables in the database is also not difficult at all, right? But these are not the tasks that we create, that we do very, very often, right? I mean, it's not like housing societies will be created very, very often. Not that, you know, these buildings will be created very, very often. Is making sense? So what happens is, these statements that we learn, DDL statements, are used infrequently. They're used, don't get me wrong there, but they're not used as frequently as these database manipulation language statement, which allows you to insert data, insert rows, right? Which allows you to modify existing data, update existing data. For example, if you want to change somebody's last name from, let's say, Agrawal to something else, right? So then that would be update. And if you want to delete a row, right? Delete a row or delete multiple rows based on certain conditions. Let's say you want to delete all the customers' records which were created in 1992 for some odd reason, right? Or you want to delete all the customer records from Delhi, right? So that would be delete state. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Now, a lot of a common confusion is what is the difference between drop and then delete? So who can tell me the difference between drop and delete then, guys?
Like from the whatever you have inscribed, drop is inside, we just want to delete entire thing and delete particular field.
No, Shweta.
This is what I understood.
Particular record, or
Yeah.
If we want to delete particular record, then we will use delete command. Otherwise, if we want to delete the entire table, then we use the drop command. Is it?
Yeah. So see, I'll show you practically. What you see in the screen here right now, what I've done is I have connected to my local database server. And in my local database server, I have created a lot of these databases. Okay. You will also create quite a few of them, maybe not so many of them, but you will create quite a few of them. Now, what I will do is that I am, let's say I say that I want to use one of these databases. Let's say you guys feel like having, no, not the peers, not a good example. Okay. Imagine that I want to use a database called as loans_db. This is already created. So I select this and I run it. And then this will highlight it somewhere, wherever it is. Yeah, there it is. Now this database contains only one table. You can see there is only one table here. But some of the other databases, you will see that they contain more than a few tables, right? So a database can contain multiple tables, right? Now imagine if I want to say that I want to, suppose this is one of the tables in this case, and I want to say that I want to drop, all right. I want to delete one record from the table, from this particular table. And first, before that, I will say that I want to see the content of this table. That means whatever is there in this table. So I'm querying it. So there is a select statement, as we discussed. That select statement helps you to query. So I've written a select, and select star essentially here means select all the columns from this table. So I select this statement and I run it. And then what it does is in the output that selects all the rows from this table. This is a very small sample table that I've created, has only 2 records, right? 2 records. One record is about Divya and the second record is about Suhas Chavan, right? And now let's say I want to delete. Let's say I want to delete Divya's record, right? Or maybe first I will actually show you. I want to update Divya's gender from male to female. Maybe it was a typo that somebody did. So I'll write update I'll write update customers set gender is equals to female under pair or double quotes, because it's the text value. I'm sure you guys have learned this in Excel as well, that when you work with text values, you put them under pair or double quotes, where cust name is equals to Divya. Semicolon is like the end of SQL statement. Like in English, you have dot. So update the customer table, set gender column is equals to female, where cust name is equal to Divya, and I select the statement, I run it, and it gives me a green tick mark here in the output window. That means it did what it was supposed to do. And when I run this line number 49 statement again, select it and run it, I see that Divya's gender has changed from male to female. So now, did you notice that we work inside, single quote would also work, Kunjan, but stick to double quotes, it's easier to remember, memorize one method of referring to the text values. Now, if you notice, we worked inside the table. We worked at the data level. Anything that we do at the data level, right, and not at the design level, are part of something called as data manipulation language statement. Did you understand this, guys? Now,
Yes.
Yes, Parth.
now imagine if I want to drop this, drop a column or remove a column from the customers table. Which column I want to remove? Let's say remove credit history, or maybe remove the income column, right? Anything that I write under pair of forward slash asterisk and asterisk forward slash in MySQL SQL is considered to be comment. Okay, so this is not SQL statement, it's plain English statement considered to be as a comment. And then I write, which statement should I write here, guys? What do you guys think?
Drop.
Drop here.
Alter.
Okay, inside the table, then delete.
Absolutely.
Alter.
Inside the table. Remember, we are inside the table. We want to make changes to the data of the table. We are not. Okay, no. I take my words back. We want to
Delete entire field we are deleting, right? Then it should be drop.
Yeah, no.
Because
So
credit history is one of the column.
let me come to this question again. I want to first let's look at this. I want to delete Divya's record from the customers table. Did you understand this situation?
Yes.
That I want to delete this record, this row from this table. So what should I do then?
Then delete.
Then delete.
Then delete.
Because you're deleting a row.
Yes.
Absolutely. So we'll write delete from customers where some condition. So what is the condition?
First
Customer name
name
equal to
is
Divya.
Customer name,
is
Divya.
Yeah, that's it. Delete, and you don't even have to mention anything, because delete will by default delete the entire record, entire row.
Okay, got it.
Right? I select it and I run it. And then green tick mark, meaning it ran very nicely. And then how do I verify whether this row was deleted or not?
We go back to
Fetch
the
the data again.
Table.
select
Select
and then run.
Like start. So now that Divya is gone, that row belonging to Divya is gone. Do you understand? Now, since we worked inside the table at the data level, hence it was part of a DML statement. Is it making sense?
Yes. So delete works only for the rows or for
Yes.
the columns as well?
No, delete is
Only.
only for the rows.
For the rows, right.
Now you may be wondering that what if I want to make this income column null, not zero, but null. Null meaning nothing. Do you understand?
Yes. Zero.
Make the income column null, meaning nothing, not zero. Okay, please, zero meaning it's a zero that you're assigning. You're saying his income is zero.
Blank.
Yeah, basically we just want to make it blank. So which statement should I use then?
Alter.
update.
I mean update.
Update.
So which statement should I use? Should I use alter here?
Alter.
We can use alter for the column, right?
But we are not deleting. Here, what you have to understand here, we are not saying that we want to delete, we want to drop the income column. That means we are not saying we want to remove the income column from the table.
We are updating it, right?
Yeah, we are just updating one of the records data for the income column. Just like how we change the gender from male to female for the other person.
Yes.
So this is also a
Update.
update.
So Pratik, will it ask for a particular value in this tab or not?
It'll ask for what?
Particular that you okay fine. You have written as null.
Yeah.
Means we have to assign a value to it. Huh?
Yeah, so we are saying null. Null is a system null value. Green tick mark. And if I run this statement again, then you can see it's null. Null meaning it's not really null like English word null. Null meaning nothing.
Okay, for
Okay.
running the statements, you need to select all the 3 statements and then put that slash of run.
Well, here's the thing. To run a statement, you select that query
Yeah.
and then click on this lightning button, or
Okay.
the shortcut is Control Enter.
Control.
Yeah. Anyway, we will have more discussion on it. I just wanted to make sure that I give you an overview of the difference between DML statements and the DDL statements. Now look at this. If you want to drop, now look at this, drop a column completely. So then what should I do?
Alter.
Absolutely right. So alter table, name of the table. What are we doing? We are dropping. What are we dropping? We're dropping a column called as income. See how English friendly it is. Alter the table. Which table? Customers table. And what are we doing? We're dropping a column called as income. And we run this, and then we get a green tick mark running properly. Very nice. Is it making sense, everybody?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I mean, we have to mug the terms, but yes, it's making sense.
Yeah, I mean, Faisal, what I'm trying to say is that don't try to memorize these statements well, especially these statements well. There's no point. As long as you know that, okay, we have something called as alter, right? And then we have something called as update. Then we have something called as insert. Then we have something called as delete. And then we have something called as drop. Do you understand?
Okay,
Yes.
Pratik, I understood. I'll just reiterate. Okay. Alter works on the table if it works on some particular column for the entire table, then we use alter. And if we use something we want to alter or change for some particular person or customer's data, then we use update or delete. Is that right?
You are right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. If you want to drop the entire table, then you'll write drop table and the name of the table. Dangerous statement. There is no control Z. There is no control Z. You can't retrieve them. There is all these operations that we are doing. They're irrevocable. Don't say that, Pratik, how do I retrieve them back? There is no retrieval. They're
My
gone.
God.
They're gone.
Okay.
Okay. and the reason why they are designed to be like that is that, imagine, you go to a bank and you pay somebody, right? And then you have a change of heart and say that, no, I didn't want to pay him. I want my money back. The bank would say, no, the money is gone from your account to somebody else's account. Now you can give him a call. He can do another transaction, but that transaction cannot be reversed.
So what's the option then?
Well, I mean, maybe you had.
But the question, so in that case, is there an opportunity of is the data getting saved in as a backup somewhere, and we can restore the backup? Is there a possibility? Because this is quite possible, like we delete everything.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. And of course, we are going to work in a dev environment, like a test environment. So here we will delete everything and will not be able to retrieve because we're not taking an active backup of this.
Okay.
You know what, Sanjeev? In a production environment, first, understand, you would never be allowed to run or do any of these changes ever in the production environment. No sane person would ever allow you to do it, unless the database governance team has decided to commit suicide and they have lost their love life. Then they may. Otherwise, nobody would ever allow you to do these changes on the production environment. Production environment meaning something which is live, banks' actual infrastructure, which is exposed to the customers. Nobody would allow you to do it. All the changes are done first in a test environment, tested thoroughly, verified thoroughly, complied with all the regulations, the internal regulations, the external regulations, the laws and everything. Then only these changes are pushed to the production databases. And when we get these support messages, right, that our banks send us alerts that between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. the bank servers would be down or it would be on maintenance. So that's what they're doing. They're pushing these kind of changes to the actual production servers. Is making sense, everybody?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is that that we work on a copy of
Yes,
the production?
absolutely.
Okay. And if in case if there's something which hasn't, it should not be there, then their regulations are done there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, there's a lot of replication that happens. There are a lot of mirroring that happens. There's multiple backups of the databases that are taken. Again, all depends upon the nature of the client that you're working with. If you're working with any pharmaceutical client, any banking client, any financial client, any insurance client, any industry which is health care client, any industry which is highly regulated, there would be even more data governance that would be available.
Then who does it? If we mess up something, then who does this all work?
So there is a separate data governance and data quality team, Sanjeev. In all the larger companies, there is a separate data governance and data quality team that is their main task to ensure continuity of the databases.
Okay.
I get the point. That is the main task. Okay. So there will always be somebody that you will have to coordinate with. Okay, especially since you work with larger companies. I mean, if you're working in a startup, then I mean, it's a very, very different world. Okay, it's really very, very different world nowadays. Of course, because there are so many startups which have millions of users, so almost their systems have become significantly solid as well, right? Because they also work with huge amount of important data. Anyway, we'll have more discussion on these things, but yeah, I mean, it's so easy. It's as easy as just running this statement. If you have all the rights and privileges with you, of course, since this is our own environment, we have got every right and every privilege, but it's not going to be that easy to do all these things. Okay, and if I run this statement, see, if you notice, that table is gone. That table is gone, right? If I now run a select star from customers, it's going to throw me an error. It says this table doesn't exist anymore. Do you see the error message that I got? Yeah, so you'll get this error this kind of an error message. Alrighty, so that's the overview of the statements that we will talk about. Somebody said, would we learn transaction control language statement? Gunjan, these statements where we are altering, modifying, changing, update, these are all part of transaction control. Gunjan, I get a point.
Yes.
Any changes to any transaction that happened. Transaction is like, let's say I had money and I'm giving you my money. That is a transaction that happened, right? Or I said that, all right, please delete all my records from your database. That is a transaction that is happening. Any changes to the data is part of transaction language. Okay, whether it is, whether you're modifying the structure, whether you're modifying the data of the table, they are all part of the transactions. Okay, guys. Now, couple of important things that we will learn today, and we will see how these things can be done as well. I mean, and I'm going to ask you to kind of do a couple of things as well along with me. Now, since some of you still do not have access to MySQL Workbench, so what I thought was that we will use a client. I mean, because MySQL Workbench is just essentially a client which can help you connect with a database, right? Now, people who are able to open MySQL Workbench by going here and clicking MySQL Workbench, I mean, searching for MySQL Workbench in your Windows and opening it. And when you open it, you will see something like this. You will see something like this where you will say, welcome to MySQL Workbench, and there'll be a MySQL connection over here. And you guys are seeing this style, this rectangular box here, which says local instance MySQL 8T or MySQL or whatever 557, depending on which version you have installed. So you will see something like this. And when you click on it, it will connect you to something like this. So suppose if I click on it, it opens, it is establishing a connection with your database server, and then it will open something like this. You will have on the left hand side, you will have this navigator, and you will have something called as schemas here. Schemas are nothing but synonym for databases. Okay, a lot of software companies, database companies like to call databases as schemas. Okay, but yeah, database. And you can see in my case, I have a lot of them. In your case, you may have none, or you may have some the default database like Sakila or World, or some default databases are there, or sys databases are there. Our database can contain multiple tables, as we discussed. Yeah. Now, what we want to do is we want to see how we can create, how we can create a database, and then how we can create a table in the database, and how we can create columns in that table. Right now, since a lot of you do not have access to the client, so we will use, we will use a cloud client. A client which will be on the cloud, and you do not have to install anything locally. You can just access the website, and then we will do a few things. Right? That's what we will do today. Now, in order to do that, I want to actually first tell you one more important thing before we go there. That how do we establish the connection with a database? Just like when you connect to a housing society, let's say you want to go to a housing society, you need to know the housing society address. The first thing that you need to know is the name of the housing society, the street that this housing society is on, right? Similarly, when you want to connect to a database server, the first thing that you need to know the IP address or the URL of that server, right? Then there is also something called as port number. Port number is like a gate, so okay, this housing society is pretty big. This housing society has which gate that you want to go inside this housing society from. So you need to know the host name or the IP address and the port number. Okay. The second thing that you need to know is login ID, the password, and the final fourth thing that you need to know is the database name. Okay. So today, what we will do is I'm going to give you a host name of one of the databases that I have created on Amazon Web Services, AWS, the cloud platform, so that you all can connect to that database. Okay. Then I'm also going to give you my login ID, a login ID to connect to that database, and also a password, and I will give you a database name, right? Please do not delete, or sorry, please do not drop that database. Okay, so that's the only command that we will not run today. Okay. Now, the question is where where will we get where we'll access the client from. In order to access the client, let's go to a website called as popsql.com. Can you all go there? Can you at least go there quickly?
Yes.
Yeah. And in that, go to use popsql on the web, this one. Let me know if anybody is facing any problem accessing this website. popsql.com, go to this popsql on the web.
popsql.com.
Now I need a volunteer to share the screen, so that, because my popsql look may be different because I have
it is different for me as well.
Yeah,
this is what we are getting.
Okay, just scroll down. You have to sign in, by the way. Sorry, you have to sign in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why. You just sign in. Just sign in with Google. If you have a Gmail account, it'll be easier. You don't have to create, sign up. All right. Yeah.
I think I've forgotten the password.
if you forgot, or I mean, yeah, somebody else maybe, or maybe if you remember the password for one of them.
Should we download it for desktop or just use it on the laptop?
No.
Yeah, I'm here.
Download is the main problem. That is the reason why we don't want to download anything. Use
Pratik, those who have downloaded this SQL, do they need to do this?
Yeah, still go ahead and do this. It's good to learn something like this. I mean, world is moving towards everything on cloud actually, so it's good to know this. Just write anything, it doesn't matter.
Don't put your company's name, guys. I mean, put any.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Just put a private.
You can write anything. I mean, a word, private, etc.
Anything you can write. Doesn't just no client name, no company name, please. Yeah.
Yeah, please, guys, don't put your client name, not your company name at all.
Sure. Create organization, right?
Pratik, I missed the last part. We need to click on the web version, right?
Yeah, the web.
Okay.
One last reminder, guys, don't put your company's name and your client name. I'm telling it, this is very important, please.
Yeah. Okay, you are all set then. Just create organization. Did you click on create organization?
No, I'm doing that right now.
Just no need to invite. Just skip this. I'll just select.
Next.
Sorry. Yeah. Next, please.
Start querying.
Yeah. So give me 1 second. Start querying, right? Now here I mean, there is a sample data that is I mean, there is a table which is already there in this sample data, in the schemas, but we will establish a connection with with a database server that I'm going to. Okay, if you notice on the right hand side, top right hand side, you will see that there is something called a sample data. There you go. If you click on it, so you can see that it has established with sample data, right? And in that sample data is essentially a database server that you're connected with, right? And let's write one command here. Come over here in the command line here. Somewhere. Just write enter somewhere down. That's fine. Just write show tables. See if it allows you to run show space tables. Space tables. Semicolon. Semicolon is mandatory to give at the end. Semicolon. Select it.
Okay.
Select statement, and then on the top right hand side there is a run button. Here.
Okay.
So now it is querying. Now since it's a cloud one, that is why it also at times it may end up taking more time, and it says unrecognized configuration parameters show tables, so it doesn't allow you to run this command as well. Okay, because it's command, it's on the cloud. There are some commands which may be disabled, which may not be allowed to run. Okay, so that's fine. Don't worry about it. We will establish a connection with our own database server, which I'm going to give you the details for. Okay, give me a second. Just a second. I'm just putting it into. Okay, Oh, you can't copy from the chat window, right?
No.
You can't copy. All right. So do this. Go to this box here. This thing here. Do you see
This
this?
one?
This one here.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Go there. Account. Go to manage connection.
Manage connection.
Yeah. Go there. Now click on add new connection. Click on scroll down.
This is it.
Okay. Right. Click on MySQL. This is the database that we will be connecting with.
MySQL. Yes.
Now it's saying connection name. You can give any connection name. Let that be, let's say, let that be any connection name. That's fine. And then host name is that host name that I've given the chat window. Unfortunately, you will have to
Type it.
Type it.
IV Pro 1.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
Dot CGQLLYD.
CGQLLYD.
2
OYF.
OYF 5.AP.
YF dot
5. You missed a 5 there.
5 dot
AP
hyphen south
hyphen 1
dot
RDS dot Amazon AWS
Amazon AWS.com.
Okay, now copy this string, put it into a notepad file so that you have it. Yeah. Okay, now go to the database name. Let that be nothing. That's fine. Unless it asks for it mandatory, then we will talk about it. Put the username as admin. Put the username as admin. Okay, it's asking for the database name. That's fine. So let's give the database name as, I'll tell you what. Give me a second. Give me a second. Put it as this: credit underscore card underscore DB. This is a credit card database that dummy database that I created. Admin, and the password will be this one. Remember, guys, this is an admin login that I'm giving you. Please do not delete, drop databases. Otherwise, yeah, here password. I capital VY, P capital RO11, exclamation, exclamation, and connect over SSH.
This one?
Okay. No, test it. Now test it. Don't connect over. Don't connect. Yeah, don't do that. Let's test it without it. Without the SSH connection. Test it here.
Pratik, could you please put all that information in that LMS so that we can easily copy paste it?
I will. I'm just a little scared.
Honestly, Pratik, right now, whatever you are doing, that is completely bounce that what you're doing, and is it mandatory to do us? So that's why.
Abhishek, what we are doing is very, very simple. What we are doing is we are establishing a connection with a database server which is hosted, installed on cloud, Abhishek. That's the only thing that we're doing.
So do we need to do it every time?
No. Once you have created the connection, Abhishek, then what it does is that it saves the connection file.
Okay.
That is the best part. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yes.
I think
so it's a one-time task.
One-time task, and there will be nothing that you have to really keep doing, because otherwise nobody would be doing it. Are you getting what, Abhishek?
Yes.
What else has bounced over your head?
I mean, the examples you are showing in that table, That was I was not able to understand actually.
The example meaning the commands that we discussed, the details,
Yes.
the DML
Yes.
statements.
Yes.
Why didn't you not stop me, Abhishek? Next time, any word that I use, right, Abhishek, you don't get it, you stop me.
Sure.
And Abhishek, what
Sure.
we did there, Abhishek, was we just looked into various different various different SQL commands, okay, for different operations. For example, in English, right, we have words, vocabulary, right, for different things, right? To a database, if we want to give an instruction that we want to create something, then there are set of commands. When we want to give an instruction, we want to delete something, we want to insert rows, we want to delete the rows. Any such instructions has a command. Abhishek. I get a point, Abhishek.
Sure. Getting there.
I think to add on Abhishek's point, currently in my business, in where I'm working, so we are mostly using Excel, and sometimes we are using as a database, as a access. We are using sometimes Access as well.
Okay.
So I'm not able to connect this MySQL to my work. Like how, like currently you are giving example that we can connect with the database which is already present. Is this as any possible that we can use Excel as a database?
Not Excel as a database, but Excel as a reporting tool, Govind.
Okay.
Excel as a reporting tool. If the time would permit, Govind, I will actually also show you how you can query from within Excel also. Because remember, one of the limitations, biggest limitation of Excel is what? That it can work
Database.
with data.
Okay.
I get a point, Govind, what I'm trying to say.
So why
yeah,
this is the barrier why it's stopping me here. Like I'm not able to relate this SQL to my work. How I can how I will use this SQL in my day-to-day life, or in my how can I relate this?
That's fine, Govind. Don't worry about it. In the next class, I will cover that part as well. That hey, what if the data is there in Excel, and what if the data is there? I mean, what can we do with that data, and how can we use SQL as a complement to what we do in Excel? Govind, yeah.
So yeah, so just Pratik, just for FYI, we have access in our environment. So in VBA we are using some SQL where we connect access to Excel. So I thought maybe some kind of help which I will get here, and maybe I will improve those things there.
Okay, so you're saying you're using VBA, and from within VBA you write SQL query to connect to Access.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And okay, I mean, so you write SQL queries there in VBA to connect to the database, right?
Yes, right.
All right, no problem. All right, so what you want to do now is, Faisal, just click on connect.
Connect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, okay, it's actually 3 p.m. now. Okay, so what we have done, Faisal, is we have established a connection with a cloud database, right? So now, if you go to schemas here.
Yeah,
go there. Yeah, you see this MySQL?
Yes.
That means you have connected to this database server which is hosted on the cloud, and then this database server has this particular database, and it has two tables, right? And now click on this plus sim thing here.
Yes.
Yeah, click on it. Now let's say just write one. We will write only one simple query. We will query the data from the customers table. So select star.
Select start.
Select select star asterisk. Select spelling is wrong.
Oh, sorry. Select.
Space asterisk.
Asterisk. Start.
Space from. No. From.
From.
Now. Space. The name of the database, which is credit card underscore card underscore DB. Not under quotes, just like that. Credit underscore card underscore DB dot name of the table is customers.
How can I select this?
Tab.
Yeah.
Semicolon.
Semicolon. Sorry.
Semicolon.
Yeah.
Select this entire thing. Run SQL statement.
This one?
Now, it says success, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
Over here, it says these are the columns. If you scroll on the right hand side, you can see all the columns from the table that we have fetched. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Now, look at the beauty of this. The data is residing somewhere in the cloud. I mean, the database is hosted somewhere in the cloud. It has maybe multiple tables. That each table may have millions of records, millions of rows. Doesn't really matter how much it is, right? And you are able to query it from wherever. You understand? And the best part is you can use this data, and you can see chart here, right? You can use this data to create any kind of visualization, or you can export this data into Excel. Let's say if you want to do any kind of other visualization. Now, here we got the data only from one particular database hosted in one particular database server. Using this client or using any kind of database client, we could have gotten the data from multiple databases hosted in multiple different database servers as well. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, Faisal?
Yes.
And we can get all that data into any kind of visualization tool, for example, Excel or Power BI or anywhere. As an analyst, what do we do on a daily basis, right? What we do on a daily basis is that we want to analyze the data, right? And in order to be able to analyze the data, you should first have the access to the data. SQL gives you that not I would say real time, but that easy access to the data residing anywhere in the world. Of course, if you have to have the right access levels. Now, I will not take more of your time, guys, because it's already beyond 3 p.m. What I'm going to do is, as part of an assignment in the LMS, I'm going to load two things for you guys. I'm going to load a reading tutorial on database design fundamentals. Okay, on database design fundamentals, I would expect you to have read that document. It's going to take an hour. So between today and Monday, if you can find 1 hour, that'd be great. If you can find 1 hour, it'll actually help you to understand, what is it that we will discuss in the next class. Second, I'm going to give you a few basic commands. I think everybody has understood how to connect to the database server from this POP SQL. If you would have not, then I'm sure Vinay would upload the recording. Please follow the steps in the recording. Once you have done this, once you have understood how to connect, then run those basic SQL commands, which will help you understand how to create a table, how to insert the data into the table, delete the data, update the data. Fundamental, crude operation, as we say, create, read, update, delete, those kind of operations, so that at least you kind of become a little comfortable with these SQL statements. By the way, if I have to write another SQL statement in this query, then how would we do that, Faisal?
We go here and
you give one more line space. Keep one line space. Not that you have to, but it makes your code look nicer, right?
Select.
You again misspelled it, so press tab, right? So you understood, right? How do we write SQL statements here? So the code, the statements that I'm going to give to you, the script that I'm going to give to you, or the commands that I'm going to give to you, you can come here and you can Experiment with those commands and you'll be okay. The only thing that I would say is that please do not drop the tables. Is this clear?
Okay.
But
Yeah.
what if we delete, we try on a delete statement and then the data is altered?
Yeah, the data will be altered. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Will it be, I mean, I just want to understand that if I'm working on my part and Faisal is working on his part, then what will happen to this data, this table?
It's wild west right now, Sanjeev.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this case, let it be wild west. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'm just saying that be little
We can amend this table and
yeah, you can amend, you can create more tables as well. You got every right in this database right now.
Can we make or duplicate this table? Any
Not
command?
yes, you can, but I am not going to share that command yet. You can, but I'm not going to share that command because I have to explain a couple of things before doing that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I'll give you commands which will help you create a table, which will help you insert the data into that table, which will help you query the data from that table. It'll also help you delete the rows from the table. It'll help you do those things.
So first of all, we need to create a on table in same database, which is Faisal just created and connected.
This database, yes.
Yes, that's what I want to understand. If I'm working on this database and Faisal or anyone else is working on it, so it will be altered at my end only or at the everybody's end. So what will happen then?
Nothing, Sanjeet. I'm okay. Even if you, I mean, see, the worst case you will delete it.
Okay. Okay.
That's the worst case.
If I'll be the last one to work on it, so suppose everybody tried delete, then I'll have nothing to work on it. That's just a joke.
Sanjeet, go ahead and create a new table. I'm going to give you the commands as well to create tables.
Okay,
Sanjeet,
that's great.
I mean, okay, let it be like a kindergarten class. People are making things, I mean, that's, I'm fine with it.
Great.
I have one confusion. As you have written select star from credit _ card _ db dot customer. Why dot customer here? Customers.
Good question. Here,
First we selected the database, then the table name. Okay.
This is the database name and this is the table name, like a folder path.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
If it's already on the database, credit
Then
_
it is not mandatory.
Okay. So if we write select customer under asterisk customer, then also it will show this data.
Faisal, write select star from customers, semicolon. Select asterisk from customers.
Customers and then
semicolon.
What is the shortcut command? Control enter?
No, select and control enter. Did you get it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we are in the database and then we can select the table, right?
Yes.
So what is the difference above line and the below line?
Best practice versus not so best practice, Vivek. Because remember, as I said, database server can host many databases, right, Vivek?
Okay.
In our case, we selected a particular database specifically at the time of choosing the connection, Vivek.
Okay.
Hence, it is very easy for us.
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
understand?
We can understand.
So basically, we went to a database and we selected a table from the first command. And can we also select a table from this customer list? Dot something
This is the table.
customer ID.
Customer is the table.
Yeah, the customer is a table. like we have selected the database and the table, can we also say dot customer ID to select a column or maybe something like
Okay, good. So when I give you the commands, you'll be able to understand where you've written select star here, right? You can mention specific columns separated with a comma. For example, we got name here, we got cust ID here, we got number of credit cards here, we got age here, right? So suppose if you write, go to the next line. I mean, I would not mind if some of the folks who want to leave, if you want to leave, I would not mind. And I also do not mind if you stay. So just write, select a specific column. I mean, just in the next line, let's say write, select, cust ID, space, cust ID. Don't write star. Don't write star then. Star means all the columns.
in double quotes?
No, it's just the field name. Only the values go into the double quotes.
Which field?
Cust ID.
Sorry, cust ID. Okay.
See, you can also select from here. Yeah, perfect. Space. No. From where?
You need to colon.
Yeah.
Okay.
From customer.
From
Cust. Yeah, from cust.
From
customer table.
Customer. Okay.
Customers.
And then colon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And now if you want to select more than one column, then you will separate them with a comma. So cust ID, comma, age. Go back here, write comma, space age. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Prateek.
That's easy and quite interesting.
Yeah.
Where do we use this asterisk, or where do not we need to use this asterisk?
If you want to, let's say, if you want to get all the columns, if you want to extract all the columns, then you will use asterisk, Abhishek.
Okay. So all the database of customer, all the columns of customer.
All the columns of the customer's table, Abhishek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you want specific tables from that particular, then we use
specific
that
column. Specific column. Sorry, I'm a stickler for the words. The reason why I'm stickler for the words is because, if you understand at least these words, then I mean, you are comfortably talking to any person who's working in the data world, Abhishek.
So customer ID column and age column will be together without asterisk from the customer database.
Yes, look at the output.
Right.
Yeah.
Got
All
it.
right. Great. The commands that I'm going to give to you, the commands would also have some notes in them. So you'll be able to follow what each command is actually asking to do.
Yes, Prateek, we'll do that.
Please update that user, database name and password and all the details which we need to mention while establishing the connection.
I will give you guys the yeah, I mean, I'll upload everything. Don't worry. The connection string. I mean, we call it connection file. I'll upload that. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
So Prateek, will you share the notes also, which you were showing that's the chart structure, the DLF?
Yes, I will.
PowerPoint.
Yeah, that will be great. Thanks.
I will share everything. Don't worry.
Thank you. Great help.
Thank you,
Prateek,
guys.
can we use this command in MS Access as well?
In MS
Access.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Let me ask you one question. Does everybody have access?
Yes.
Yes, Prateek.
Yes.
Does everybody have access?
No.
We have access on client network.
Yeah, in client network we have.
We have access on client network, not on our personal network.
We can download if you want.
I mean, see, I just need any one. I mean, I don't want to confuse more. MySQL is there, is fine. I mean, let's try and get that. Otherwise, I mean, I also take classes on MS Access as well. I could have done it in MS Access, but again, I don't want to bring one more variability into the entire mix. Okay. If everybody had it, then it was a different thing.
Maybe we'll understand that after, completing your sessions better.
Yeah, I mean, you will understand. It's not really, I mean, the scripts that we will run here, the scripts that we can run on MS Access, they are 95% same.
Okay.
I think in our business, we don't have MySQL. That's why we are using as a VBA in SQL. It would be great if you can teach us how we can, use queries in Access. It is really very helpful us.
Resuming is most of the data we are storing in MS Access.
Yes, right.
Only.
Acha. So, I mean, you have to, okay, I mean, can I, okay. How many, so is there anybody who would not be able to have access to MS Access? Would there be an issue having access to MS Access? Or would everybody?
We need to download it.
We have to download it and we have to check. We haven't used it.
As it is any.
Sanjita,
I mean, in my history.
Sanjita, we have already in our business. Don't worry about it.
Is everybody from the same business? Hey, Vinay, are you there, Vinay?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Vinay, I mean, it will be very helpful for me if I get to know answer to this question. If everybody can have access to Microsoft Access. Okay. I mean, it's a paid software, right? I mean, it's not even free. So, normally we have an issue with that.
So I don't have.
So, I mean, Pratik, I can check, but it will be like a mix. I assume 50% will have it, 50% will not have it, but I will still check and I'll let you know by us over the weekend. I'm sure I'll get the response before next class.
Yeah.
It's a paid software, right? So what about the people who have the personal laptop?
See, I mean, unofficially, MS Access is part of MS Office application most of the time.
Okay.
MS Access is part of the MS Office higher version. Let me put it like this, Faisal.
Okay.
No, but
Is
we don't have
it with MS 19? Will be
16 also.
It will be with any kind of MS Office as long as you have not the basic plan, but the one plan above the basic plan.
Okay.
And it's very easy. It's very easy to check. I mean, if you just go to MS Office thing in your Windows machine, you'll see whether MS Access is there or not.
Okay.
If we can download it, yeah. You also check, and like we have a WhatsApp group. All right. Those who do not have it, just let me know. All right. Also, I will mark your Spocks. Probably they would probably talk to you, and then you can check and let them know also. So we will double check with you guys.
Okay.
So I still assume, Pratik, that 50% will have it. 50%.
From our business, we have here around 12 to 13 people. So all they have access. All they have access in Genpact laptop and the client network as well. Both sides.
So let's check. I mean, those people who do not have it, let's put it on the WhatsApp. Okay. You don't have it. We'll get to know how many people do not have it.
Okay. Yeah. My only thing is, I can't be using two different interfaces.
Yeah.
Because people will get confused. Although the commands are same, but the interfaces are different. So my thing is that I want to use that common denominator across everybody. If nothing else will work, guys, if you're not able to install anything, I will come back to this SQL on cloud that we are using, and we'll be able to do 90 to 95% of things that we want to do in the class. Okay. But my only goal is to have one system, one thing, not multiple things.
So I think, Pratik, maximum of us, already downloaded this thing, SQL Workbench. Few of them is left, and they are in process to approve that, help me tickets.
Yeah.
So
hopefully, they have raised the ticket.
They have.
So we have created enough, hype that, this should get resolved as soon as possible. So I assume, their supervisors will approve the SQL thing.
Yeah, I mean, that will be the best.
Yeah,
So just let me know, Vinay, if you
but
can.
it's only on Genpact. In our client network, we don't have SQL. We have only access.
So,
Govind,
sorry.
What I can also do for people who are who want to definitely learn about MS Access, how we can learn all these things in MS Access. I can, in between, I'll find some time. I will show you how things can be done in MS Access as well. It's not really a big deal. And also, I have completely recorded sessions on MS Access as well. I can upload those as well onto our LMS. And or else, worst case, I will record a separate lecture for it. That's not a problem. It's not a big deal at all.
Yeah, okay,
if you
great.
know one platform, it's not a big deal to work with multiple different database platforms.
Okay.
All right. So Pratik, I'll let you know how many people do not have actually.
Okay.
And then probably, you can think through what is the best option.
Sure.
For the next from the next class.
All right. Thank you, everybody. But that is not an excuse to not do the assignment that I'm giving you, because this assignment doesn't require you to install anything.
Yeah.
Yes, Pratik.
And guys, since I think I've been with partner with Pratik and his team for like a year now, so I understand there is somebody in his team who will keep on monitoring your behavioral aspect as in not uploading the sorry Pratik, let me just tell them, not uploading the the exercise, not being on time, and everything will get documented and Pratik's team will share it. So my humble request is to, follow whatever Ivy is telling it to you.
Will it impact my final score?
So for example, if you see that, sorry, Pratik, I just hijacked for a minute.
No, please.
So for example, your score is 80%, but Pratik has marked you that, that you come like 15 minutes late. So your score example. So whatever your score is, maybe 100, somebody will get to know that you're not on time. You do not submit your assignments. So it's an example, Govind, right?
No, why I'm asking, like, if Pratik is picked one topic and I am just, little bit know about it. So maybe that time, maybe I pick Jones little bit late, but in the end, I have completed my assignment with 100% marks.
So see, Ivy promises not only on the scores, on the behavioral aspect also, right?
Okay.
So they nurture you completely.
I got your point. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
So Pratik, this is the place where I can see, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can see the reading material is there for quick reference guide, and the reading material is there for crude operation. In fact, it's already loaded, but it was loaded considering, so if you open that, you will see actually that the third one, the crude operations that we spoke about. Yeah. It has the scripts. Okay, so you got to do the last lesson, and then you have to come back here. You can't skip it. But yeah, anyway, on the right hand side, top right hand side, you have to just do complete and continue.
Pratik, can we unlock this thing? I think Ishani did the same. We can.
We will do it. Okay, this is All right.
Okay.
Thank
you. Shall I log out from this database?
Yeah, you can log out. You can close it.
And what about the password? You'll be sharing it, or?
Yeah, I will upload it into the LMS.
And I'm deleting this this notepad thing.
Yeah, you can have it. That's not a problem.
Okay.
It just saves you some time and effort. Yeah.
How can I log out from here?
You go here. Sorry, here.
Yeah.
Are you able to follow my arrow here?
Oh, sorry. And sign out. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. I'm unsharing.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, Pratik. Thank you very much for the session.
Thank you, Pratik. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Pratik.
Thank you,
Thanks, everyone.
Vinay.